We're here at the Dolby stand at CES 2017 and I'm joined by Roland Fleiku to talk about the big announcements of this year's show. So Roland, what's the big news regarding Dolby Vision?
There's actually quite a lot going on, Steve. So we are very happy and proud here to be here at CES this year, 2017, to add several announcements to our already impressive list of Dolby Vision ecosystem partners. So the first one I would like to mention is Sony. So Sony TV has decided to join the Dolby Vision ecosystem. We're very proud and happy about that. Sony has announced that they will be adding Dolby Vision to their lineup of 2017 premium TVs, those that feature the X1 Extreme processor, which includes the Z9D model that was launched last September at IFA, as well as the new models for 2017, including the new OLED. Apart from that, we also have a new announcement with LG. As you remember, last year they added Dolby Vision to the OLED and the Super UHD lineup. This year, in addition to that, they're also adding Dolby Atmos to the OLED lineup. So this will include 10 models that will have an out-of-the-box Dolby Atmos experience, which is an important and amazing thing for consumers because they don't need to worry about a separate sound system or a sound bar. They get Dolby Atmos straight out of the box, which is really cool. And apart from that, we also have announcements with Philips in North America for several television sets, UHD television sets, as well as Blu-ray players, not just from Philips, but also from LG and Oppo. And the reason I talk about Ultra HD Blu-rays, because as you may know, Dolby Vision has been an option in the BDA UHD Blu-ray standard, but now we actually have players in the market, and we also have announcements from studios, Lionsgate, Universal Pictures, as well as Warner Brothers to release titles in Dolby Vision on UHD Blu-ray in early 2017. Apart from that, there's also Roku TV on TCL. TCL has announced several models for the North America market that are equipped with Dolby Vision as part of the Roku TV platform. You remember last year there was an announcement that Roku would integrate Dolby Vision into the TV OS. This is the first product. So we're very happy about the momentum.
In terms of the consumer then, if they're looking for a Dolby Vision enabled display, what are their current options?
Right, so you have, depending on where you live in the world, so in the US you have Vizio, LG, very soon Sony, TCL, Philips. On the international level, LG and Sony will be our primary brands. There's also a list of manufacturers from China, like Skyworth and TCL, who have started shipping this year or last year with TVs for the domestic market. We also started to launch OTT streaming, online streaming in different parts of the world. In China, for example, with Tencent in December, and then also earlier last year in Japan with NTT Plala's Hickory TV service.
Now you mentioned Ultra HD Blu-ray, that's big news this year. How exactly is that being delivered on the disc and more importantly, will it be backwards compatible for those that don't have a Dolby Vision Blu-ray player?
Yeah, absolutely. So the way the specification was designed for UHD Blu-ray for HDR was designed in a way that you get as a baseline experience HDR10, both on the disc as well as on the player. Then there is an option for a Dolby Vision enhancement, which is what we're activating right now. So the disc will still continue an HDR10 base layer and then a Dolby Vision enhancement. So if you have the right disc, player and TV, you get the Dolby Vision experience. If you don't, then it defaults back down to a generic HDR10 experience, so you will always have something to play.
Now you also mentioned Dolby Atmos in terms of TVs. Mm-hmm. How exactly can you deliver a Dolby Atmos experience from a two-channel television?
Yeah, so as you know, with digital signal processing and virtualization, we have the ability to reproduce, sound worlds that go well beyond what's actually physically present. So with a two-channel front-firing, stereo speaker system in a television, you are able to create an immersive, three-dimensional environment, an experience that people will not want to miss once they've experienced it. But the fundamental component of that is the fact that Dolby Atmos is a object-based sound format where you place at the mixing point, you place objects in the three-dimensional space and then they get rendered out and the rendering device or the player knows exactly what its respective capabilities are. So whether you're playing in a cinema with Dolby Atmos with more than 100 speakers, or you play on a set of headphones on a mobile phone or on a two-channel TV, the device will know how to best reproduce that information.
If someone isn't lucky enough to have a TV with Dolby Atmos built into it, how can they add Dolby Atmos to their TV in a simple fashion?
Yeah, absolutely. So up until now, we've had numerous announcements. A little over a year ago, we had the first announcements of Dolby Atmos enabled sound bars. The first one was from Yamaha. Since then, we've added several from Philips, from Samsung. We've had several other announcements from other OEMs around soundbar products. In the meantime, also here at CES, where you can basically, in a very compact form factor, enable a Dolby Atmos sound experience. And then, of course, there is the higher-end home theater, where you have AV receivers that have been shipping with Dolby Atmos capability, again, also for over a year, with speakers systems that are either ceiling-mounted or upward firing that reflect the audio off of the ceiling back onto the seating position. So there are plenty of options.
If somebody's already got an Ultra HD Blu-ray player and they've got Ultra HD Blu-rays with HDR10, why should they get Dolby Vision? What does that bring to it that isn't already available to them?
Right, so that's a very good question. So as you may know, most of the Hollywood movies today are mastered using the Dolby Vision mastering process. And to date, most of those HDR10 discs were derived from the Dolby Vision master. So you will basically get a reduced experience from what could have been the full master. Now we're bringing the full master experience, with Dolby Vision all the way to the living room. We have the ability to deliver a 12-bit precision fidelity experience versus 10-bit with HDR10. We also have the ability to go in terms of color gamut well beyond P3, which is what HDR10 is also limited to. HDR10 also does not have the dynamic scene-based metadata that really optimizes the presentation of each scene perfectly with what the artist had intended.
So we've got Dolby Vision in terms of streaming, we've got Dolby Vision in terms of Ultra HD Blu-ray. The other big area that's developing now is broadcast. What can we expect to see in terms of Dolby Vision with broadcast TV?
Right, so we have shown at the last few NAB and IBC trade shows our efforts to enable Dolby Vision for live broadcasting, for live sports broadcasting. That is an area that is emerging. We are working on the workflow and the ecosystem to enable broadcast cameras to output the high dynamic range image as a starting point, and then the rest of the signal chain to really deliver a high quality Dolby Vision experience all the way to the broadcast station, then ultimately as a transmission point to consumers. So getting that signal out to the home via cable, satellite, IPTV, and eventually even terrestrial is definitely our goal, and we're working on enabling this for experiences such as sports. So, for example, in audio, we just announced that we'll be adding Dolby Atmos to BT's Premier League coverage at the end of this month in the UK. And in a similar way, we're working on big live events, live projects to add the HDR component in Dolby Vision.
One final question. Dolby Vision is a closed ecosystem, so if you've got the Dolby Vision TV, you've got Dolby Vision Ultra HD Blu-ray player, you have a Dolby Vision Ultra HD Blu-ray disc. How do you ensure that your TV is set up correctly to get the full Dolby Vision experience?
Right, so for every television that is created by any given manufacturing partner, we require them to integrate at least one or two of our reference viewing modes for Dolby Vision. This viewing mode effectively disables all of the post-processing in the TV and reproduces the image as closely to the artistic intent and the way the artist, the colorist, or the director saw it in the color grading suite. There can be other viewing modes in addition that the manufacturer may choose to add. But those viewing modes, and once you've set a preference and established a preference of viewing Dolby Vision content on your TV in a particular way, you can, of course, view any material, any content using this viewing mode.
But they wouldn't need to get the Dolby Vision modes calibrated.
So there is that option as well. It's not absolutely necessary, but we have been working with Spectracal's Calman 5 to enable a calibration routine for Dolby Vision, especially on Dolby Vision TVs, and that has been used by a variety of professional, semi-professional, calibration enthusiasts, and that is definitely something that minimizes the delta E's on your TV out of the box. But we've seen that the way we work with these manufacturers, we calibrate these modes pretty well, and then what you want to compensate for is really the variation in the manufacturing process.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.